Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where I share my spiritual journey, my healing journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, and nothing but authenticity here. Authenticity of the cross. So I want to talk about spiritual rank, and I was sharing in my other videos about, especially in this, you kind of, we have, physical, what we see in the world. And, one thing he's taught me, I've learned, all we need is a faith of a mustard seed, right, guys? And so in the beginning of my walk, like I said, I was broken on that cross. That was the beginning in 2010 when I really surrendered my life and ready to, for change. So we have, and everybody starts off with that. When you first get saved and get baptized, you start off with like that little mustard seed. I was going to get some too, but I was like, I'll get some, and I do want to get some and make some for people. And yeah. So you start off with that little. That's all you do. It's pretty much you get everybody. It's like giving that, and so but anyways, yeah, and that's what like my journey has been like a game. I'm not a game, but like. I would say for me, looking back as like, in my process, it's just you and God. And, when you seek God with your whole heart, it says, what does that scripture say? Hold on. So it says, Jeremiah 29:13, to keep, if you seek me with all your heart, is Jeremiah 29:13, which promises you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. This verse is a foundational scripture about a wholehearted, undivided pursuit of God, assuring that such sincere seeking leads to finding Him. Often echo. Okay, and then so this is what you will seek me and find me when you seek me with your heart, and that's what I did in the beginning in 2010. And it was like one thing after another, after trials, but my heart was so like the one that was seeking Him. I was like, it was like a treasure, you guys. When you really start, if you haven't started with that, when you really start, in the beginning of your journey, it's like a treasure hunt of finding out who you are. Like, and that's what happened to me. And it was like one thing happened, and I was like, oh, I'm curious about this, and another, and I was just like seeking Him, and then, and then this is what led to me finding who I am, and finding purpose, and then all the stuff, you hear my journey and stuff like that I went through and stuff like that. But, I really wanted to know Him, and when you know Him, like one of the things when you really want to know God, and that's when I went out and He would lead me, to, like I said, I would look for, one thing is, He would lead me to, in the beginning of my work, I work around Him, so I'd find jobs that I could plant seeds everywhere I went. So He would lead me, and then He would teach me about people and, all kinds all on my journey, you know what I mean? And I would seek Him, and I'd really be, you know what I mean? Like, but I'll seek Him with my heart. He knew that I wanted Him. And when you really seek Him with your heart, you can't fool God. So you'll find Him, you know what I mean? And then you'll find purpose, and that's what happened to me. And so anyway, so you continue doing that, right? But again, when you're living your life, you like when I'm just living my walking with the Lord, so that you're really being tested, but you don't know that, you know what I mean? Like, so everything I did was being watched by God, and this is where you get spiritual, what I call spiritual rank, you know what I mean? Because you are who you are in the spiritual realm, and so they watch you, and this is where your conviction comes in. This is where my conviction, even stuff that, like I said, I'm just real, like, real person, you know what I mean? And it's not perfection, you know what I mean? Let me tell you that right now, with all my stuff you can see, but my heart, oh God, I mean, like me and God are like this, I'm telling you, you know what I mean? Like He sees everything. He sees those, like I said, my journey, those that were trying to do all the most behind the scenes, and you know what I mean? Like, and like trying to portray to me in my story and portray me to be one way, and God's looking at them like, and even everybody knows, you know what I mean? Like I run into and stuff like that, know who, like who I am genuinely, and anyways, and so but like I said, God, I mean, like I have founded such a deep again connection, and I can't iterate that enough, you guys. Like every day I'll pray about this, and when I go through it, and He'll talk to me, and He'll You know what I mean? Like, and then I'll have my moments, and I'll be like angry, and I'll be like, righteous, what we call righteous anger, which I did when I talked about that one of my videos about anyways, and so and that's what we call righteous. God knows. That's what I'm saying. I can sit here and be angry and cuss and stuff like that, and God knows what behind the scenes, what's going on, and who's intentionally doing that. You know what I mean? Like in my story, a lot. You know what I mean? And God seen that, so you're gonna reap that. You know what I mean? Like, and God sees that. You know what I mean? And so, but anyway, so this is what we call, spiritual. You can't, we have protection in the spiritual realm. You know what I mean? And so as I share, we have, like again, I'm gonna share is that we have Jesus, okay, who's on his throne, and then we have the story of the Lucifer. He got kicked out because he was jealous and envious. I always share like about the Narc stories, similar, you know what I mean? And so he got kicked out of his kingdom. There's only one king because of envy, because of jealous. Narcissists are envious and jealous people, okay? So anyways, and so then so now is Lucifer, right? So anyways, we have spiritual rank. Jesus has power over him and dominion, you know what I mean? And so this is the same with in my situation. You have the narcissist, and then you have a child of God. I belong to God. He knows my name. My name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. You know what I mean? And you overpower that. You have power, what we call power in the spiritual realm. You know what I mean? And so we walk by faith, not by sight. I walk by what I don't see. And then if you give the vision that they're all about logic and all that stuff like that, narcissists, so they walk by what they do see. Hence, this person never took a step of faith towards me. Oh, now that he sees things and stuff like that, or he went through all that stuff like that, and a whole another connection. And now, you know what I mean? Like, so giving, you know what I mean? That is not walking by faith. Oh, I'm going to take that leap of faith now. Oh, after all this stuff, you know what I mean? That's not taking a leap of faith because he's seeing things. You're right. He had to figure out all this stuff like that. No, you had a chance to walk by faith and in the unknown and trust. You get what I'm saying? And that didn't happen, versus me stepping into faith, you know what I mean? And my whole journey is nothing but faith, it has been a journey. So I just got so used to it, and to the point where now I just walk by faith, you know what I mean? Nothing, I don't know, this or that. I didn't know, taking this, when the Lord told me to walk away from the situation, and then all this comes to light. I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? God is unbelievable, and so, but anyways, as I want to share, and once you learn and you heal, once I learned to heal involved, you guys, you see that. It's like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, and you go through this huge process. It's like, but again, I just shared too, and I learned when I wasn't healed, I didn't use my power enough, you guys. And I always pray to God, let me, help me to use my power accordingly. You know what I mean? Like, I have righteous anger in the situation, in my story. I have, and I always ask God, help me, in every situation. And I always pray, help me to use my power accordingly, the way you want me to use it in this world. Anyways, and so, but anyways, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, and you continue seeking him with your heart, you know what I mean? Like, and like I said, everybody, and that's, you can't fool God, you know what I mean? God is watching. I found this little thing too, you guys, and in the back, it's like a thing that says, I see you, and it's Jesus. It's a picture of Jesus. I need to get that, but it was too small. I was like, I wanted the big one, so I could put it right here, This is the New Year's 2026 little things. I gotta take down a little bit. But anyways, but yeah, I see you. So that's why I say never ever, and I think I share about illusions in this world. And I went through awakening, I went through birth, so I see. Now I was in a whole illusion. I was, you know what I mean? An illusion, okay? And it's so funny, and so, but anyways, I didn't see him for so long, and just so many things that I was speaking, talking to God is happening in this world. It's like, wow, and anyways, and like I said, it's like a treasure, you guys, when you seek God in your own life. And the first thing I just started off in my relationship, you guys, I just asked him. I remember I'm not who I am, and it's like hard to see because you're you, and you don't see because you're just like me. I was one thing after another, after another, after another. So I didn't really get to see, from the outside, like the growth and stuff like that, because it's just your body. I know I grow a lot, but it's like I don't know, there's sometimes I want to step out of body and see, but I've like grown so much, and um I like these things. These are ice. Ice cold. Like sugar free. I've been cutting back on a lot of soda, a lot of things, you guys. Like a cold turkey. It's so good. That's another thing I'm going to save. Your health. We're going to talk about the health and how you absorb all the narcs and all this stuff like that. Anyways, we're going to do that in the next video, and just talk about health. You know what I mean? Like when you're breaking a generalized curse, or when you're an actual physical, like, you're, yeah, I don't want to talk about that in this video, but anyways, but yes, there is spiritual rank, you guys, and you overrank, especially when you're real in this world. God sees it. The angels see it. His spirit, like I said, I joke around the spiritual teams, you know what I mean? Like, and you can't sit there and want to a position and walk a certain way. I walk a certain way because of I am real. I am who I am. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've learned along my journey. I learned lessons. You know what I mean? And I grew from them. I evolved. I walk with a pure heart. You know what I mean? And I'm always like asking God, forgive me for this, or asking Him, if anything in my heart or anything like that, I really, really am real with God all the time. So that's where your power comes. They see how honest she is. They see me in the spiritual realm. They see who I am behind doors. Again, I say that again. You are who you are behind doors, not in public. Okay? How the narcissists, they one way behind doors and then one way in public. God sees that. Okay? But I am who I am behind doors, who I am in public, you guys. Except personal stuff. But of course, I gotta be that. But but yeah, like I had someone I was hanging with, and they're like, "Oh, this is you outside." I'm like, no difference, but like it's the same person, But I am really, really, really just bubbly. I'm just me, you know what I mean? Like, and bubbly, serious, whatever I am at the time, But anyways, I just want to talk about that real fast. And remember, it is real. What we don't see in this world is real, and it's, like I said, you want, versus illusions, again, you know what I mean? Like in this world, now it's being shown and cut down, and God is doing a new thing. Okay, I see what He's doing and stuff in this world, but and He's revealing a lot of things that were, oh, that's another one too. Hold on, let's see. What did I say? The other one I was gonna talk about. Health and idolizing. We're gonna talk about idolizing. Okay. But anyways, I just want to share that. Say, God bless you. Remember that. Seek God with your whole heart. And I promise you, He'll get you where you need. Again, don't let the distraction. Oh, we could talk about. Oh, God. And I want to talk about how the devil will use it in the world, in our walks. And that's why we make our mistakes and all stuff like that. Because he'll send distractions. He'll send lustful. All this stuff like that along our journeys, right? I've been there. Learned all this stuff, and grew, And, but that's where he'll send on you along your journey. Like, yeah, you're serving God, but, oh, here, let me stop right here. Or, oh, look at it. I'm going to, the devil's going to send a little thing of this bait, But you have to do something. You have to sell your soul to the devil to do it. You know what I mean? And there you go. And then you have this delay in your life, and all this stuff like that. And so, but anyways, I wanted to just share about, spiritual rank. You know what I mean? Like, we do have, and it's real. Spiritual rank is real in the heavens. Who you are, the physical. And never fool God, just own up to your stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and like I'm constantly, asking God forgiveness to reveal things, you know what I mean? Like, and just being pure hearted, and just to continue to help me to grow. That's why I love to grow. That's why I keep growing, you know what I mean? Like, and But anyways, I'll see you in my next video, guys. Love you, and you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. And you will, because I did.